This is my 2009 Nissan 370Z, and I'm about to sell it today. We bought it for $9,000, drove it home, and cleaned it up. But we still have a lot of work to do to it before it sells. Today is Wednesday, and I'm meeting a guy at a title transfer place about an hour away. But before we meet him, we have a lot to do, not just to this car, but to my Honda Beat. As you saw in the last video, this car is leaking oil pretty badly.
Yeah, that thing is smoking.
Where is it coming from, though?
It's not coming from down here in the exhaust. Oh. Look at that. There's some oil leakage right there. Oh no.
I showed you in the last video the aftermath of when I figured out it was leaking oil, but I didn't show you how I found out it was leaking oil. This is so stupid. I'm just gonna play the clip.
You trying to race? What for? For family.
Do you smell that? Do you see the smoke? Oh yeah, you can see it on camera, I think.
I saw like one little bit.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, that is smoking. I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now you can see it. Oh no.
You're cooked.
Is that coming? You think that's from the engine, or you think that's?
It's leaking onto the exhaust.
It's leaking onto the exhaust.
Oh, well, guess we gotta fix that. So yeah, this thing is leaking oil. I put a piece of paper underneath the car and left it overnight, and sure enough, the next morning, there was oil all over the paper. So the next day, I recruited help from my friend Jared, and now it's time to figure out why this thing is leaking oil. Now, this car's engine is in the rear, and getting to it is super simple. You just open the trunk, and it's right there. But in order to really get into it and see where this car is leaking, we need to unbolt everything off of this car, like the soft top. So let me show you how to do that. First, we needed to unscrew this back window, which I may add was absolutely filthy. But seeing how easy it is to just take off the bolts, I think I could easily replace the whole back window using some like table protector wrap stuff. Anyways, we got the bolts off, except for one that was completely stripped, which is not optimal. We tried turning it into a flathead screw, and that did not work. So as a last ditch effort, we used pliers, which broke the cap, but in the process unscrewed the strip screw. Now we can fold this back window up, move the speakers, and take off this rear carpet, which reveals the engine cover. The factory red paint here looks so nice. Imagine how good that must have looked like 30 years back. But we took the cover off, which revealed this 3-cylinder engine, and instantly we saw oil all over it. As I inspected the engine bay, I noticed there's literally no filter on the intake. I have no idea how this even happens, because this is the one that was on it, and that is massive. So I guess we gotta buy a new one of those. We then wiped down all of the oil that was on the engine. Wipe it down. And I thought it was interesting how there was an oil fill cap directly on the engine, which I've never seen before. We then checked the coils to see if they were wet, which here they all looked pretty dry until the last one. And this makes me think this car definitely has a bad valve cover gasket. To get a better look at where this car was leaking, we jacked up the car, and underneath was just caked in oil, so we really couldn't pinpoint anything. We then pushed it outside and tried letting it run just to see if it would start dripping oil, but honestly, it was too cold to wait, and I'm pretty confident it's the valve cover gasket. So I drove home and I ordered the OEM one off of eBay. And I also bought new plastic to fix this rear window. And since we just ordered the gasket, we might as well get new oil and spark plugs as well. So now that I got all the parts to fix this Honda Beat, let's go and put these things on. This could be you. And if you don't have a good law firm to represent you, you could be cooked. That's where Morgan & Morgan comes in. There's a reason why nobody looks cool flying through the air with car parts. Just like there's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. If you've ever been hurt or in an accident, your case could be worth millions. And if you hire the wrong law firm, you may be beat before you even start. But Morgan & Morgan doesn't settle for lowball offers. For example, this Uber driver who slipped on a stair outside of IHOP and broke her ankle. The injury was so bad that she couldn't work or live the active lifestyle she once had. The worst part though though, the insurance company offered her just $100,000. Morgan & Morgan got her $8.2 million. Remember, all law firms are not the same, and Morgan & Morgan is the biggest injury law firm for a reason. They win a lot. They've recovered over $30 billion for their clients. And the best part, the fee is completely free unless they win your case. For more information and to see if you have a case, you can check out forthepeople.com/Doug. That's forthepeople.com/Doug, or you can click the link in the description. Thank you to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's video. Now that we have these parts, we still have to wait for the valve cover gasket to come, and I kind of just want to throw everything on at once. So while we're waiting for that to come, let's fix this door handle. To take the door handle off, I had to unscrew this piece covering the door lock, and also take off this inner door handle. With those off, I was super careful not to break the door panel as I ripped it off, and this revealed the inside of this door. To unscrew the handle, I had to pop off this little cap here and take off this disgusting piece of tape, revealing 3 screws that were holding the door handle in. The problem though, if I drop any of these bolts holding it in, it's gone forever into the abyss. So I was super careful about it. I used a magnet to be 100% sure they wouldn't fall, and after way too long of trying to make sure I don't lose the bolt, I got it out. I did the same thing for the next bolt, which gave me flashbacks to playing this game as a child, and I think the skills actually translated because I got this next one no problem. And finally, I got the last one and didn't drop any of them. Now, with nothing holding the door handle in, I tried taking it off with my hands, but this probably hasn't been taken off like ever. So I popped it loose with a hammer, and now it comes right off. I popped out the door lock and saw that the door handle was actually screwed in here. I tried unscrewing it, but if I kept going, I would scratch the top of the door so badly. So I decided to tape off the area so the paint isn't getting scratched, and then I unscrewed it. At this point, I forgot my left and rights, but after being careful, I took the whole handle off. All right, guys, so I don't think I'm gonna be 3D printing this whole thing. I mean, as you can see here, the mechanism still works perfectly fine, so 3D printing a new one would just kind of not make any sense. But if you look closely here, here is completely snapped off, as you can see. But if you look right here, there's a gap between this plastic here and the back here. I can fit my finger in there. So I'm thinking maybe I still just keep this here and just drill a hole in the middle here and then bolt on a new 3D printed piece. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna figure something out. I've never used this 3D printer before. It's not mine. So I'm gonna have to learn how to design on the software as well. No idea how to do that, but I mean, I guess we might as well just try. Before I tried to design my own, I decided to just do a trial run with a design I found online just to be sure I know how all this works. I imported the design to a software which then sent it to the 3D printer and it got printing. And good thing I did a test run because this one completely failed. So I found another design online and tried again with a little different settings. This took about 30 minutes, but sure enough, this one held strong and it completed printing. After it was all done, I carefully took it off the pad and decorated my new creation. So now, without further ado, I just made this chicken. Alright y'all, so this is the official plan on how I'm going to 3D print this door handle. Right here is what the door handle looks like. This is the broken part. I'm thinking, so this big line here is the broken door handle. If I can 3D print a piece in the shape of like a 7, it will basically just be... Okay, I can't draw this out. I'm terrible at drawing. I'm just gonna show you. So I started to design what I was trying to draw out. Hopefully you can see the vision a little more here. So I went and tried printing the first piece. This one ended up being a little too big, so I went back, shrunk it, and printed it again. This time it actually looked pretty decent. So I then printed out the second part, which was the flat part of the door handle. Obviously I made it too big, but like whatever, that's what sandpaper is for. And now it fits like a glove. I got some plastic JB Weld, glued together the 2 pieces, and waited an hour for it to dry. Hopefully now you can see the vision here. I decided to go with glue because I didn't feel like drilling into the door handle, but I think this came out pretty good because if I glue this on here, it should just act like a door handle. This should work, but I don't think this stuff actually works that well because I've had this drying for like an hour and it's still not good. We're definitely gonna have to revisit this when I have time because I have a guy interested in buying the 370. He asked for pictures of underneath the car, to which I had to dig my car out of the snow. And side note, listen to the cold start on this thing. I tried moving it to a better spot to get pictures, but I got stuck coming up my driveway. Looking underneath this thing, it's pretty clean. There's a tiny bit of surface rust from it living in the north almost 20 years. And the guy approved it saying he was good and wanted to buy the car the next Wednesday. So to prepare it for sale, I don't really know when the last time the oil was changed, so let's quick do that. So obviously to do this, you need your oil. The oil filter, I bought a K&N, something to unscrew the drain plug off with, and obviously the drain pan, or else it's just gonna get all over your garage. Make sure your e-brake is up and that something is behind the rear wheels so it doesn't roll back. And then I started jacking up the car. If you guys don't know how to change your oil, I'm about to save you thousands of dollars $100 from your wallet throughout your lifetime, because it's super easy. Now with the car in the air, we can crawl underneath. This car had a little protector sheet thing over the drain plug, so I took off these 4 bolts holding it on and folded it back, revealing the drain plug and filter. Now you can unscrew the drain plug and just be sure your drain pan is underneath because oil will shoot out. Let it drain all the way and then put the bolt back on. It's that easy. Now let's take off this filter. This one was super stuck, so I used a tool to create some leverage, and now look at that, more oil coming out. Before we put this new filter on, quick little thing I like to do is take a dip of the new oil and coat it around the new filter to lube it up. Then you can just screw that puppy on. Now with all of the oil out of the car, you want to start it up and listen for this knocking noise. You hear it? Perfect. I'm joking, please do not do this. You're doing a seize your engine speed run. Now make sure you know how much oil you need to put in your engine. In this case, it was 5.2 quarts, and start pouring it in. That's literally it. Never pay a mechanic to do this for you. They're ripping you off. Now you can start your car up, and as long as nothing leaks out from under the car, you probably changed the oil correctly. With the old oil, you can simply just dispose it back into the earth where it came from. I'm just kidding, do not do this unless you want everything dead in your yard. I just poured the oil back into the bottle it came from, and now you're done. I took it for a quick drive around and then checked the dipstick, which the oil showed right under the high mark, meaning that we are good. Now let's get this car inspected since it still has a New York inspection on it, not a Pennsylvania one. I called it in.
Yeah, I'd like to drop my car off for an inspection. Okay, thank you. Hopefully it passes.
And then I drove over and dropped the car off.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna pass. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the car, but I guess time will tell. I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully with some good news.
And sure enough, the car passed with flying colors. So I went and picked up the car, and now the day of selling it has come.
Today is Wednesday, the day I'm supposed to sell the 370Z. Keyword, supposed to. The guy that I'm supposed to sell it to is super nice, but the problem, he's waiting on a loan from a bank. And he told me as of now, the bank is just straight up ghosting him. This right here is the worst part about flipping items. It's just the fact that you have to wait so long. There is no instant dopamine hits when it comes to this. Whatever. I hope the next update is some good news on the sale, but I don't know. Okay, so today is the next day. The guy told me that the bank would get back to him by at latest today, so I'm pretty confident this is the last day we have this thing. I even put on the same sweatshirt that I wore when I first bought the car because I seriously guess that it's gonna work out. But before we sell it, I'm gonna clean this car up a little bit. The people who inspected it got it really dirty, but I'm not gonna give it a full wash because it's like 10 degrees out. The car is just gonna freeze, but I can't sell somebody a dirty car.
So I wiped off and cleaned all the big dirt spots all around. It's an hour drive to the notary in this terrible weather, so it's gonna get dirty on the way there anyways. And now all that's left to do is to wait for a text confirming he's still good to meet today, which never came.
I have heard literally nothing from this guy all day. This is so frustrating because I told the guy that I would hold the car for him, and in doing so, I had to decline a few people who were interested in seeing the car because I took the guy's word. I really thought he was dead set on buying it, but today I've literally been completely ghosted. This hurts more than like getting rejected by a woman. I guess nice guys really do finish last. This sucks though because I structured this whole video around selling this car. Completely took that guy's word, but like don't ever trust people on Facebook Marketplace. But all hope is not lost because I have another guy who told me he was interested in buying the car. He wants to meet up tomorrow night. I'm planning on uploading this video in 2 days on Saturday, so this guy really has to clutch up. In the meantime though, oh my gosh. Okay, I forgot the box, but I got my valve cover gasket and I got all the other stuff I ordered on Amazon. So while we're waiting to hopefully sell this car tomorrow, let's put this gasket on.
I got my intake from Amazon, the valve cover gasket from eBay, which consisted of the gasket, and a bunch of other replacement parts came with it. New spark plugs, only needed 3, new oil, and of course, a filter. This is honestly the first time I'm doing something like mechanical on this channel. The closest thing I did to this was probably like put an exhaust on, but let's do this. First of all, I took off all of the coils, which here you can definitely see the oil leaking into the last one. I disconnected this hose and also this ground attached to the valve cover. One of the bolts was pretty far down, so we used a little extension socket to get it, which worked like a charm. Now let's get this valve cover off. First of all, we unscrewed these 2 bolts on the top and the 2 that were down below. It's crazy to me that this tiny screw is what holds the whole thing on. Then we tried getting the cover off, which after some fidangling came right off. And as you can see by all the gunkiness, this gasket was due to be replaced. With the cover off, you could really see where this leak was coming from, making me even more confident that it was just in fact a bad gasket. And looking here, one of these were super loose, which definitely could have contributed to an oil leak. I took them all out and put in the new one, which I secured in by tapping it with the end of a screwdriver. I then took out these screws to replace the gasket on these, but for some reason the Japanese engineers decided to make taking these off impossible, so we just decided to break them off.
So what, you're just gonna break those?
Yeah, man, the new one should slip on with a little bit of force.
Alright, let me get some reps on this.
But finally, we got them on. We went to put on the valve cover gasket, but the gasket maker we had was completely out. So we tried the only store that was open at midnight, and sure enough, they had it. Finally, we can put this gasket on, put a little bit of gasket maker on it, and we're good to go. With the valve cover off, we might as well do the spark plug since it's easily accessible. And pulling the old ones out, there was oil coated all over them, which is usually not a good thing, especially on this last one. This is a good spark plug compared to the old one. That is no bueno. We then put in the new spark plugs and torqued them to spec. Now we can reassemble the engine. We put the valve cover back on and screwed back in the bolts. Easy as that. I tried fitting the new intake filter on, but for some reason the one I bought was the size of a basketball. So we tried fitting another one on that Jared just had laying around, but that didn't fit either. I guess no filter on it for now. We quick then changed the oil, which not to flex or anything, but I got nothing on my hands pulling the plug off. Certified blue collar worker, by the way. But with that done, I pushed it outside and started it up, which looking underneath, no oil was leaking. So hopefully that worked.
Okay, so it's the next day. I just looked under the car and there was like 1 drop of oil on it. My guess is this little residue right here is just from the previous oil leak, because before we replaced this, the paper looked completely covered in oil, a lot more than what's on this one. So now that we got that fixed, let's talk about this right here. This thing is gross. It is completely cracked and rusting out, just not looking good. So I bought a new back window. They seem to be the same material, and honestly, I don't really care as long as it works. So let's go and try and replace this back window.
First, I unscrewed all of the plastic bolts holding in this window, while in the process, trying not to freeze. Now, with the old window off, I unrolled the new plastic over the old plastic and traced it so I could just cut out the exact same shape. I cut a little bit outside the trace mark because you can always cut more, but you can never add more. Next, I marked all the holes where the previous screws were and took a hole puncher and punched out new screw holes for the new window. Now with that done, I fit the new window on, screwed back in the plastic screws, and screwed back in the metal screws under the trunk. I really should have done this a while ago because this was super easy and it made a huge difference. And now that that's done, it is Friday and it's time to sell this 370Z.
All right, we're on the way to meet this guy. I've been talking to him. He seems pretty serious. I told him to meet me at a police station. I'm gonna be there in 5 minutes. I really hope this thing sells today. Well, I've been waiting here and he has not showed up. He hasn't even answered my text when I told him to meet me at the police station. And I'm here at the police station, the right one, the right address. But I'm not gonna lie, I was a little skeptical on this guy. Something about him just seemed a little off. Usually if a guy is legit, they will have no problem meeting you at a police station. But if they're trying to scam you or like rob you, then obviously they're not gonna go to a police station. So like, I guess it's kind of a good thing I got ghosted so I didn't get robbed. This is so frustrating. I guess let's go to the price breakdown, because I just sold the 370Z. We still haven't sold the 370. I mean, I guess looking back on it, maybe it wasn't a great buy. The fact that it's winter is also definitely a huge factor. It's still gonna sell in the future, I have no doubts, but I just want to keep it real with you guys. This is just the reality of flipping items. You gotta learn how to deal with rejection. Well, this is not the outro I was hoping for. I was going to say that we met our goal of, if we sold the 370, we would have been over $10,000, which is the goal that I set in the beginning of this series. You can get a clean 350 for around that price, give or take a few, but we're still sitting at however much this is. Still pretty good, I won't lie, but it could have been better. Whatever. Good news though is this car is fixed, and with it being fixed, I can probably sell it for a pretty decent profit now. We've put about $6,300 into it, and I've been getting a lot of messages online of people interested in this little thing. But guys, I gotta confess something. I think I broke the #1 rule in flipping items. But you know, when you flip things, you can't really be emotionally attached or else you're just always gonna be in despair. I love this thing. This would hurt more than a breakup if I got rid of it. I know for a fact that if we sold it, we make a pretty decent profit, but that profit would not fill the void in my heart when I sell the thing. The best way I can describe it is like you give a Lamborghini to somebody for like 3 months, and then right after that, you go straight back to driving a Kia Soul. I don't know. I mean, I know the purpose of this car was to buy and sell it, and I will do that if you guys think I should, but I want to raise a question and just see what you guys think in the comments. Do you think I should keep this thing and mod it? Make it the cleanest Honda Beat on the internet? We saw that the engine is pretty easy to work on, and like, come on, look at these photos here. Like, I want this so badly. Or let me know in the comments if you think I should sell it and just put all the profits towards my dream car. And speaking of dream car, I am planning on getting this within the next like 2 months. I'm starting to look for them in like Arizona, New Mexico, but it's really hard to find them. If any of you guys happen to be in that area and know somebody, or you are selling a manual 350Z, DM me on Instagram right here. Help me find the dream car. Just gonna say my sincerest apologies for clickbaiting you guys, but to be fair, I really thought I was selling this car. But in the next video, I mean, the 370Z has to sell, and we're gonna buy another car to flip. I'll see you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.